Many women have courageously spoken out about how they experience alienation and harassment in gaming.
Oh, great. It's everybody's favorite feminist, of course. Jonathan McIntosh. See if he has anything useful to say.
Despite this fact, too many male gamers dismiss the issue as no big deal and insist that there isn't really a problem.
Really? Are you sure it wasn't those fake gamer girls that you're like your sock puppet of a wife that told you that?
One of the luxuries of being a member of a privileged group is that the benefits afforded to us often remain invisible to us.
Really, McIntosh? Is it really privileged to be cast out for liking gaming? Is it really privileged for that media to always be presenting these people as bad, evil, white devils who are summoning the devil of video games to prey on children and women? Is that really privilege, McIntosh?
Working towards solutions requires that male gamers become aware of the ways in which we unconsciously benefit from sexism. We can't work to fix something unless we first understand its effects.
Jesus, McIntosh, you're presenting this as video games are black magic. Why? I hate when feminists act like if video games and men have patriarchal black magic.
With that in mind, the following is a checklist of some of the concrete benefits that male gamers automatically receive simply for being men.
I'm very curious to how much you actually paid them.
I can choose to remain completely oblivious or indifferent to the harassment that many women face in gaming spaces.
What? Anyone who is a dick can act like this. Do you have to go to a patriarchal acting class to do this?
I am never told that video games or the surrounding culture is not intended for me because I am male.
And if someone tells you that in any culture is not meant for you, then you grow up here. Any pair, of course. And mute them because 9 out of 10 times they're probably trash talking. And there's probably a huge cunt who does this to anyone. It's like those guys who, take PE a bit too seriously, We all know who they are.
I can publicly post my username, gamertag, or contact information online without having to fear being stalked or sexually harassed because of my gender.
Nothing bad can happen from putting personal information up on the internet. If you give out your information, then you're fucking stupid anyway.
I will never be asked to prove my gaming cred simply because of my gender.
It's not the guy's fault if this happens. It's the fake nerdy gamer girl who shove controllers up their vagina for attention. Plus, to be any culture, you have to show your dedication to. And by the way, other girls do this. I know it's maybe a bit too hard for you to take in, but other girls judge each other. For example, I have been told by another female that I am not a gamer because I play retro games. And this was from another girl. Surprising, wasn't it?
If I enthusiastically express my fondness for video games, no one will automatically assume I'm faking my interest just to get attention from other gamers.
See point 4 for more information. It's the needy gamer gals.
I can look at practically any gaming website, show, or magazine and see the voices of people of my own gender widely represented.
There are so many groups out there for girls though. Yes, it's widely populated by guys, so they target guys. That's like doing makeup. It's mostly targeted for girls, so they make it towards girls and not guys. It's called supply and demand, so I'm sure that there are a lot of male groups, but it's targeting males for a reason.
When I go to a gaming event or convention, I can be relatively certain that I won't be harassed, groped, propositioned, or catcalled by total strangers.
Okay, this has never happened to me personally. I have lots of gamer friends, and I go out with them a lot. And a lot of them are guys. I think most of them are guys, actually. I have only one gamer friend that's a female, and I've never felt uncomfortable with them. And any sexual jokes are just harmless banter. And I don't care, because it's come from people I know. No strangers have ever said anything like that to me, and from reading experiences online, I don't see people saying that. And for the record, and I hope you know this, but men do get harassed at cons. I've heard so many stories of girls getting a bit too close to guys because of who they're cosplaying as. And it's the same with girls in bands anyway. About the amount of times I've seen girls be like, oh, I don't know, fucking who do the youngsters listen to? Like Jared Way I want to sit on Jared Way's face or something like that. Girls do the exact same thing.
I will never be asked or expected to speak for all other gamers who share my gender.
I can be sure that my game.
It's funny that you say this because a lot of the like social justice warriors, they try to pin everything bad that happens in the Gamergate movement, and they pin it on every single member of the Gamergate movement. So yeah, and they say that like everybody who's in the Gamergate movement is like got this little conspiracy theory where everybody in the Gamergate movement is trying to attack Anita Sarkeesian. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Gaming performance, good or bad, won't be attributed to or reflect on my gender as a whole.
It's a fucking stereotype.
My gaming ability will never be called into question based on unrelated natural biological functions.
Number 10. If someone does this to you, then fucking man up. Or woman up. And prove you're a good gamer. Don't rage quit to whine on your fucking shitty little Tumblr blog.
I can be relatively sure my thoughts about video games won't be dismissed or attacked based solely on my tone of voice, even if I speak in an aggressive, obnoxious, crude, or flippant manner.
To be honest though, if you actually talk like this and you have that kind of tone of voice, I don't think it's your gender that's actually going to make people hate you. I think it's your tone of voice. You don't talk like that if you want respect.
I can openly say that my favorite games are casual, odd, non-violent, artistic, or cute, without fear that my opinions will reinforce a stereotype that men are not real gamers.
As a retro gamer, the only person who has ever told me this was a girl. Guys like the fact that I'm into retro games, though I have good conversations with them. A girl called retro games arcade games. Said they weren't proper games. A lot of gamer girls do like the cute games, though. Talking about supply and demand because of stereotypes. Are stereotypes right? No. One of my favorite all-time games is Wolfenstein for the Nintendo 64, and obviously that's not a cute game. That's a cute game. No, wait, it's not a cute game. It's a game about shooting Nazis. But girls do like cute games, believe it or not. So it's like the whole argument, it's the whole women are from Venus and men are from Mars kind of thing. Generally, women and men react differently to things. So it's clear why people would think that women like cute, artsy games, because that's something girls generally like.
When purchasing most major video games in a store, chances are I will not be asked if, or assumed to be, buying it for a wife, daughter, or girlfriend.
I have no idea where people get this one because I've never ever been asked this, and I don't think a lot of people actually have. I remember one time actually when I went to go buy the new Pokemon Y game, and I showed it to the clerk, and he was like, "Oh, you a big Pokemon fan?" I was like, "Yeah, I love Pokemon." He was like, "Oh, well, we've got lots of magazines and stuff like that. Do you want to buy one?" And then I was like, "All right, go ahead, show me." So he showed me a bunch of Nintendo magazines. So, and to be honest, a lot of clerks don't care. They're just there to sell you a game. They don't generally have conversations with you. Well, unless they're the nice ones do, but a lot of them don't even speak to you, so I don't really see where people actually get this one.
The vast majority of game studios, past and present, have been led and populated primarily by people of my own gender, and as such, most of their products have been specifically designed to cater to my demographic.
Number 14. It is supply and demand. Of course it's targeted at guys because guys are the majority. Again, that's like targeting makeup at guys. It won't be popular because not a lot of guys wear makeup. Yes, there are obviously some men who do, but it's not that much. Well, not that much compared to girls, of course.
I can walk into any gaming store and see images of my gender widely represented as powerful heroes, dastardly villains, and non-playable characters alike. I will almost always...
Well, Tomb Raider, Metroid, Mrs. Pac-Man, Bayonetta, the new Zelda game, Hyrule Warriors, Street Fighter has female characters, Injustice has female characters, Mortal Kombat has female characters, Resident Evil, Alice in Wonderland, The Last of Us, about 1 million different dating sims, Diablo has a wide variety, Clock Tower, Super Princess Peach, the Grudge game. Sonic had a game where you could play as Amy. Saints Row has an option. Skyrim. But yeah, I totally see it.
Have the option to play a character of my gender, as most protagonists or heroes will be male by default.
Lara Croft, Bayonetta, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Samus Aran, Princess Zelda.
I do not have to carefully navigate my engagement with online communities or gaming spaces in order to avoid or mitigate the possibility of being harassed because of my gender.
That's bullshit. Nobody actually gives a fuck. They only give a fuck when you act like you should have special treatment because you're a female. And by the way, a lot of females do actually think they deserve to be taken on a little bit lightly because they're female.
I probably never think about hiding my real-life gender online through my gamer name, my avatar choice, or by muting voice chat out of fear of harassment resulting from my being male.
It's funny because I don't have to do that. I've never had to do that. My Xbox Golden name, my Xbox Live name when I first got it was actually Sailor Moon XX because I was into Sailor Moon, and my avatar was a cute little kawaii girl. So yeah, and that never got taken, like I never got death threats or anything like that. I've never had to hide who I am on the internet, and I think a lot of people know that if you're from my Tumblr, then you know that I'm very open with everybody, and I've never had to hide who I am. I don't know, I don't speak for everybody, but I'm just speaking from personal experience. I've never had to hide who I am, and from reading other responses to this bullshit video from other ladies, a lot of girls are saying the same thing. So it might just be a small demographic of people who feel this, but yeah, I've never had to hide who I am, and from hearing stories, not a lot of other people have had to.
When I enter an online game, I can be relatively sure I won't be attacked or harassed if and when my real-life gender is made public.
I feel like at this point, you're just repeating the same points over and over again. They have the same basis of people, apparently people giving a fuck about who you are when you're online. Because, by the way, nobody actually does. Online, you're nobody. Unless you've got a shitty little Tumblr blog, and by the way, you special snowflakes seem to think you are somebody on your shitty little blog. No, you're online. Nobody gives a fuck who you actually are. And if they do, you shouldn't care, because they're not worth your time.
If I am trash talked or verbally berated while playing online, it will not be because I am male, nor will my gender be invoked as an insult.
Trash talking isn't meant to be taken seriously. You will be trash talked for anything, and most likely, my dear white knight, you will be trash talked for being a fucking white knight.
While playing online with people I don't know, I won't be interrogated about the size and shape of my real-life body parts, nor will I be pressured to share intimate details about my sex life for the pleasure of other players.
Oh, and I'm guessing the casual bet you have a small dick banter doesn't crop up. Unless you insinuate it, it doesn't come up. And unless you imply it or anything, nobody actually brings it up.
Complete strangers generally do not send me unsolicited images of their genitalia or demand to see me naked on the basis of being a male gamer.
It's never really ever happened to me, and are you just implying that it's only male gamers that do this? They're there to play games, not pick up chicks.
In multiplayer games, I can be pretty sure that conversations between other players will not focus on speculation about my attractiveness or sexual availability in real life.
As I've said before, generally assholes do, and are you actually trying to imply that females don't do this when they hear an attractive voice? For example, I have many American friends, and my friends who are all Scottish wet themselves over the accent, and I don't usually like to reference other Tumblr users that I actually speak to. So, if he ever sees this, he'll probably know who I'm speaking about him. But when I went to Paris last year, I Skyped with my American friend, and there were 3 female friends standing outside the bathroom door while I was talking. And when I asked them why they did this, one of them admitted to him having a hot voice. And also, have you seen what the fans of Markiplier and Cryotic say about their voices? Yeah, And it's the same with bands. Oh, he's got such a hot voice. I want him to talk dirty to me. That kind of stuff.
If I choose to point out sexism in gaming, my observations will not be seen as self-serving, and will therefore be perceived as more credible and worthy of respect than those of my female counterparts, even if they are saying the exact same thing.
Number 24. The majority of it is nitpicking, to be honest, and fair dues if it's obvious, though, like if it's obvious sexism, then yeah, I can understand this, but if it's like really, really nitpicky kind of stuff, like, oh, that woman dies, obvious sexism, men are not usually that, moaning about it, though.
Because it was created by a straight white man, this checklist will likely be taken more seriously than if it had been written by virtually any female gamer.
Because this list was made by Jonathan McIntosh, a man who blocked me on Twitter because he lacks a spine, and I do not take this list seriously. Fuck you, you spineless child.
These benefits should not be reserved for men.
This list is not meant to suggest that male gamers are always treated well.
That's kind of what you guys have been implying this whole time, you fucking morons. What, is there now female benefits? Is your next video going to be 25 invisible female benefits? Because really, I would really like to see that one. Maybe Anita Sarkeesian can run this one. Maybe it can have Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu. Although, apparently nobody likes Brianna Wu anymore. What a pity. Would have made a good video.
Sometimes we are bullied.
Or subjected to online nastiness.
But it's not based on or because of our gender.
It's not based on gender either. It's based on how you present yourself in the community. Yes, there are always going to be assholes in every community. It's the same with like bands, fandoms. Tumblr has plenty of fucking assholes, but there are always going to be them.
In order to make change,
first we need to acknowledge the problem.
And then we must take responsibility for it as a community.
So we can actively work together
with people of all genders
to dismantle the parts of gaming culture
that perpetuate these imbalances.
All people of all genders
must be treated with respect and dignity.
Together, we can make gaming better.
Together, we will make gaming better.
Well, here was the 25 invisible privileges by White Knights. I really don't see how these are privileges, because it doesn't happen to the extent that people think it does. Yes, there is people who do make horrible comments. There are assholes in every community. There's assholes on Tumblr. There's fucking heaps of them on Tumblr. There's assholes on Twitter, anime, in bands, YouTubers. There are fucking lots of fucking assholes on YouTubers, let me tell you that. But there are assholes everywhere. We need to ignore them. We need to not give them the satisfaction. Making videos like this gives them satisfaction. And, well, and that's it really. My opinion is that you ignore it. You block whoever's giving you harassment and just don't give them satisfaction, because when you don't give them satisfaction, they will get bored. I know it's cliche to say that, but they will get bored. Trust me, it happens. Thanks for watching this video. Good night.